Part 6, we have a bunch of code that's reused for all the questions for Part 6. So this code is a class called vehicle that does some stuff. And then for this question, we have another program called vehicle test that has the following statements, where it creates two vehicles, and then it prints out get v1.get model year. So vehicle 1 was created with this first constructor that takes no arguments. Vehicle 2 was created with this second constructor that takes one argument, the year, and then whatever year was passed in, it sets the model year to. So 2021 is passed in, model year is get set to 2021, but we call get model year on v1, which takes the default model year 2020 because it's never set in this constructor. So the correct answer for this is 2020 because it's v1. Now, this question is the same as the last question, except we call get model year on v2. So, because v2 uses the second constructor that takes in this year and sets model year to whatever was passed in, when you get the model year, it's 2021 because it's set inside the constructor. So the correct answer is 2021. Same code, but this code, it's just asking what this code does. And it defines a class that can be used to create vehicle objects. You should have seen that you can compile code without a main method, you just can't run it. So this compiles perfectly fine, and it just sets the template for this vehicle class and does nothing else. Next. How many constructors are defined in this code? The answer is 2, because here is the first constructor that takes in no arguments, and the constructor is overridden right here to take in a year. So there are 2 constructors for this class. Now, same code. Assume that another program created a vehicle object referred to by the variable name v1. Which of the following statements would throw an exception? And that is this: v1.nVehicles, because nVehicles is a private variable, so therefore you cannot access it outside of this class using dot notation like this. If this was public, this would be valid, but since it's private, you cannot access this, and you'll get a compilation error. Now, same code. Which of the following is an instance variable? And that is this: model year, because it doesn't have the static declaration, so therefore it's an instance variable. So the correct answer is model year. Now, so the following is an instance method. Same thing. It's get model year, because get model year doesn't have this static declaration. So if it's not static, it's an instance method. So it's get model year. So another program called vehicle test has the following statements. You create 2 vehicles, and then you print out vehicle, the class, .get, and vehicles. So this is slightly tricky because nVehicles is declared as static, so it's globally shared. So when you create this first vehicle, v1, here, nVehicles++. So in this instance, nVehicles is set to 0. First, when this constructor is called, you increase it to 1. And then when the constructor for this, v2, is called again, it's incremented once again. So it's 2. And then get and vehicles, here it prints out 2. Because this was created static, it's globally shared amongst the vehicle class. And that was it for part 6.